The person doing it the last time this time was going to be Sam. Do you recall what happened last time, even though we skipped a week?
The confidence grows.
It was mostly a combat, so it's not actually that hard to remember.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna be long. It's like we're on a boat in the middle of a sea, and so we got caught up on seaweed. Silver and the half-orc dude, name's escaping me.
Molotov.
Yeah, that one. Went into the water to cut the seaweed away. And then Silver was assaulted by angry fish people. And so we had a fight. We thought the fight ended after we killed the final sharks. Yes, sharks joined. That was nice. But no, a bigger, badder, redder shark joined.
Yes.
Started making weird sounds at us. But it turns out it was just speaking abyssal, right?
Deep speech.
Oh, deep speech. And only Locke could hear.
Because I speak deep speech because I've led a weird life.
Very weird.
You speak deep speech because it spontaneously was a language that was in your head as soon as you started reading Bensound's book.
Right.
Which makes me wonder.
Like I said, I've led a weird life.
Which makes me wonder: is deep speech how you talk to? Is deep speech the language that you speak with Bensound too? I guess.
I don't know. That's up to you. I just roll with it.
But yeah. So that was the thing. You fought a lovely, a lovely shark. It was a amusing combat and fun. In said combat, you also saw that Molotov's wife was a very unique druid.
Everyone has cooler powers than us.
Hey.
Everyone has cooler powers in most of the group, save for probably Silver and Cad. Cad's powers are cool, they're just not unique to him. All Loxodons and Caverton have it, but that's beside the point. So, yes, from there you moved on to the town of Muzuchad on the small little island area off the coast that you guys were going to deal with a shrine that was a Dallia shrine that was supposed to be on Muzuchad somewhere. And you have no idea where, you just know that it is on Muzuchad. And based on previous assessments, you would assume that it's near some sort of temple and or graveyard. Because most of the previous ones you saw were. And upon docking in Muzuchad, after having dealt with the shark and traveled for another day or two to get to Muzuchad proper, most of the people on the boat had went into Muzuchad. Well, some of the people on the boat had went into Muzuchad to resupply and other such things, so that they can continue their trip up to the lovely continent of Iban, that is a month away. Well, 3 more weeks away. And in that, I actually wanted to start this session in that afternoon that you guys arrived onto Muzuchad, because Molotov had opted to go to the tavern to share a drink with those in the party if anyone wanted to join, and even if they didn't want to join, Molotov was actually going to, at the start of this session, approach Silver. And he's basically like, okay, so I remember that back before you got onto the boat, the captain had, offered everyone a chance to, are you guys a free ride in exchange for your Loxodon friend Cad doing an arm wrestling thing? And
yeah,
I remember that you showed interest in wanting to do that arm wrestling thing with me as well, though at the time it was, I was more focused on, I had never, arm wrestled a Loxodon. But though you didn't do the killing blow to that shark, that was pretty insane. So, do you want to arm wrestle?
No. I'm tired.
Well, you would have gotten rest, but eh.
Thanks
The
for the
offer,
offer, though, but no, that's okay.
fair enough. I just thought I'd give you the shot since you seem to be interested and you had a very powerful attack there. Although I suppose if we would arm wrestle, you'd probably just smite me if I win. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
Your wings were cool though. I'll give you that. So following that, then Molotok and the rest of the ship's crew get ready to head on out back towards Yvonne, and as they get ready to do so, the captain is going to approach whoever was serving as group's leader at this point. I don't really know if that's Silver. It was before, but Silver seems tired currently.
Honestly, I actually am. I'm tired as well.
Right, I figured. So I might as well just be Locke, I suppose. Volmar Dagan, the captain, high elf.
All right.
He's sort of like, okay, so our travel up to Yvonne is going to take upwards of 3 weeks from now, and we're probably going to be in Yvonne for a couple days before we start heading back this way. Do you want us to stop by Muzuchad just in case you guys are ready to head back to the mainland, or are you guys thinking you'll find some other way there? I don't know. I'm not sure what other ship will be coming to Muzuchad in the next couple of days, if any. So,
well, given the nature of what we're trying to do, we'd probably want to leave here more expediently than not. So if we can find an alternative means of leaving before you get back, we'll probably do that. But if it isn't too much of a hassle, if you could just stop in, check here, this is probably where we'll be staying, and see if we're here, that'd be great. And if we're not, just carry on.
fair enough.
It's not too big of an issue.
Fair enough. And as with this trek, it was not very out of our way for us to do this for you guys anyway. And you were quite the interesting party to have aboard the ship. So
We got attacked by a giant red shark.
well,
I sincerely hope that has nothing to do with us being there, though.
I would hope not. Though, if that had happened and you hadn't been there, we might have had much more problems. Because I'm not entirely sure if Molotok and Lumba could handle that on their own.
Who knows?
Either way, it was great to have all of you aboard, and we will stop by here just in case, see if anything has happened. Maybe you can check into the ledger here at the docks of Muzuchad, see if another boat's going to be coming in anytime soon. But I did speak to my little gnome friend from before, and his ship may come by as well on his way back, because he's going to be coming back towards the mainland a lot faster than we will, because what was the Alana? Alana is much closer than Aban. It's just in a different direction. So he may be stopping by as well if you don't find anybody else. So
thanks for the heads up.
but yes, I hope everything goes well with whatever form of quest you and your group may be on. And if you do ride with us again, either now or sometime in the future, maybe you'll have another story to share with us.
Maybe. Shit just keeps seeming to happen to us. And I'll take a bite of my donut.
Yes, I will say that this tavern has donuts.
Yes!
At least it's not bagels.
Yeah, bagels aren't the joke.
Yeah, no, bagels aren't the joke.
Or gag in this case, not really
Well,
the joke.
bagels are from the Feywild.
What?
So,
I'm sorry, what? Are bagels... is that an actual part of this setting, that bagels are unique to the Feywild?
I thought that's what, like, when we went to the Feywild, that it was bagels for some reason.
That doesn't mean that's where they're from. That just means that's what they make there.
Either way.
Yes, there's a magical bagel plant there.
Magical bagel.
Grow on trees?
No, it's a bush.
Okay.
Was there? I forget. Was there actually a bush that just grew bagels?
No.
No, there was not. No.
Okay, good. I was worried I was going insane because I think I would have remembered something that stupid.
No. She said that there was a bagel plant. So, yeah. Ha ha ha.
Anyway, so following that, he moves on so that the ship could head out, and you guys probably take a moment to sort of collect yourself, because all of you have spent like a week on the sea. So I sort of figured that the afternoon and evening of that first day having arrived, you're sort of just getting your land legs back, as it were. Though it's up to y'all how you decide to approach the situation you're in, because I'm not entirely sure how you guys are going to find who it is you're looking for.
We don't know. Go kick down a door.
Do you have a door and a haversack of holding to do that with?
No, but there's plenty of doors around us. Let's just start kicking them down.
I do not believe that is wise.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I mean, if we end up getting into combat, that's just free XP.
No!
What is XP?
It's in this campaign. Also, it is experience.
Fair, yes. What were you saying, Sam?
Oh, nothing. I was just making a joke.
So, yes, that. So with that, Oak is sort of going to speak up, and he's, well, the best way that I would see to approach this situation, since we have no clue who it is we're looking for is, we do know the general nature of most of these shrines have been, and maybe we could ask around in town, see if anybody's seen anything suspicious. Though there was a temple that was, north of the marketplace ever so slightly that we could look into as well. So
indeed, but I mean, we're also, I gesture vaguely, in an inn and tavern. These places typically, people come through here, they get drinks, they ramble on. Travelers spend the night and gossip about what they've seen.
That's true,
guess
too.
Who's always there to hear all of it? The bartender. So I'm more than confident that our best bet would be to start by asking them. Nothing from them, then sure, we can hit that temple up north.
That's a fair point.
I've been doing this adventuring thing long enough to figure out that bit, at least.
Yeah. He says as he eats more of his donut.
Yep. Glazed, cream-filled thing. Crunch, but very creamy on the inside. Nice.
Alright. So.
Silver, you want a donut?
Too bad for mine.
Does Silver want a donut?
I'm holding out one of the ones I haven't eaten.
Sure, I'll have a donut.
Great! Donuts for everyone. Who wants one? I on the Silver, and because Locke is feeling really, really happy to be back on ground, he's going to knock the partially eaten remains of his donut against hers as if in a toast, and then go back to eating.
Okay.
Y'all.
I'm glad to be back on dry land. The ocean sucks.
We're gonna have to go back across the ocean, right?
Do not remind me.
I'm going to remind you, because it's gonna happen.
Silver, you can remind me when we're actually out there, but for now, donut. Eat.
Young and Oak will also have a donut each. So.
It's just being like, am I being bossed by this child right now?
The 17-year-old warlock.
I just got sassed.
You just
I'm assuming Cad's okay with the donut as well. He was eating them before, so.
Sure.
Hey, everyone has a donut.
Yep.
God, my fan, it keeps growling at me.
Alrighty.
I take the donut and like get a knife and a fork. I'm like slowly like.
What the hell are you doing?
I look over at a person with like gooified sugar dripping all across your chin.
That's not how it's... You're eating that like a barbarian.
He is a barbarian.
I know, that's the joke. And I'm also quoting my mother on that one.
Yes.
Because apparently the way I eat those blocky milk chocolate bars is like a barbarian, because I just bite into them. I don't break off the pieces. My mother was unamused with me.
So, with that in mind, you guys have some donuts. You sort of get a chance to relax a little bit. As was mentioned, Locke gets much better to be on dry land. So you probably spend the evening just, relaxing after the trauma of boat and shark.
After I consume my sugar,
yeah,
I go to bed.
Yes.
And then I realize that I just consumed sugar and proceed to spend the next hour and a half tossing and turning there, wishing I hadn't consumed so many donuts because now I'm on a sugar rush. I slept last night and I haven't done anything exerting today, so I have a bunch of pent-up energy.
Fair. With that in mind, everyone gets, enough of sleep, and the morning arises, and now is your time to figure out how you're going to find this shrine. For purposes, your tavern, your barkeep, as it were, is a half-orc. Male half-orc. And he's sort of getting the bar set for breakfast for anyone who's staying at the tavern that's ready for it. Probably breakfast is well underway when Locke wakes up because he didn't sleep necessarily as well, and he's usually a late riser anyway.
Yep.
So
we can say I come down last.
Yeah.
The Elephant Man is awake first. Good.
Well, in theory, Elephant Man and Oak and Young. But Silver's probably awake. She might be preparing her spells and other such things for today because, Paladin and whatnot. No.
For context, audience, Kenneth just put into the Roll20 chat a text block that seems to be an augmentation to Eldritch Blast, which reads Improvised Donut Blast. And it reads as follows. By adding a donut as a material component to your Eldritch Blast cantrip, you can fling a donut as a ranged attack at a target within range. On a hit, the target is hit by an Eldritch Blast as normal, but is also covered with a goo. Jelly donut jelly, chocolate donut chocolate, basic donut a sugary glaze. And I want this, but not on this character.
That's hilarious.
Next time I make a warlock, though, they're going to be even more hardcore about donuts than Locke is, and they are getting that, Dalred. I will hear no complaints.
You won't have any from me if I'm the game master for that. I feel as though that particular text box was the result of the aforerolled Shenanigans 22.
Sounds good. Let's go with that.
So
we're in like a taverny any sort of place, right?
Yep.
So I guess I would go down on waking up and sort of grab a quieter table either off to the side or something so that I could sort of listen to people as they come and go. And I'd probably grab a book and just just write things in it. For sake of modern context, like the people that go to Panera and basically live there 3/4 of the time that it's open, and they basically just do, whatever.
Yeah.
Their second home. Maybe I'll overhear something.
So for that, you do have a few people that no one's really necessarily. It's interesting to have a Loxodon because they're not sort of common outside of Caverton, though people have seen Loxodons in Muzuchad before, so it's not like a super unusual thing. But considering
it's just not common.
Yeah. And considering you're sort of keeping out of everybody's way and keeping to yourself as you do, you're sort of mingling with the morning crowd, as it were. Roll for me perception, sure. You could get your advantage, although I don't think smell is going to necessarily help you in this equation.
So normal perception and smell, 21.
Alright. Are you listening for anything specifically, or just like gossip, or...
Well, we don't really know who, and we don't really know where, so I guess I would be listening. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of conversations all happening in unison, but I guess I would be trying to filter through and listen for anything that might tip off the place, or somebody meeting in secret, or if somebody knows of her, or anything that would tip off in that direction.
What sort of... I'm not entirely sure what all details you guys had previously of the person that you're looking for. I remember that Ulara, or not, was it Ulara? Yeah, Ulara, the Duragar, she mentioned that in reference to who you're going to be going after her were a bad kind of mad scientist and a dogs, which you already dealt with, and I think she said that the other person was basically, she might have mentioned female and rather annoying. I think that's all that she really said about her. Do what?
I don't think she gave us very much detail.
It is exceptionally helpful, I said.
Yeah. I actually, no. She did say that she was very annoying and very flirty. Or something akin, because I remember that when that was mentioned, either Silver, Locke, or both were like, oh boy, here we go.
Locke does not do flirting people well.
Yeah.
So I guess add to my list of things that I'm listening for if anyone's talking about a local brothel, because apparently that's the go-to place for info.
What? We've done that once.
Technically twice. Though the first one was accidental.
I don't think she was looking for information. She was just there for a good time, I think.
Fair.
Well, knowing that Silver went to a brothel while we were in company with her, hearing people say that someone else had gone to one prior, and hearing one of the few details given that she's annoying, well, that could be anybody, but that she's super flirty, I mean, I don't know.
Fair.
It's innocent enough to add if somebody talks about a brothel, cock an ear and see if I hear anything useful.
Okay.
If not, then I don't.
So, with your 21, you just sort of get actually, give for me a history check.
Okay.
13. I'm going to say that due to the fact that you were a pencil pusher type of character with background in law and that sort of context, you know that oftentimes performer types, bards essentially that was a role to clarify whether or not Cad knows what a bard is, in the context of the world, not necessarily the class, but
we have a dog in the party. Aren't they annoying and flirty? Oh wait.
No. And he's not necessarily the greatest of bards, but you also yes, have a bard in the party. Or at least he's partially a bard. So yeah, with that in mind, you hear general gossip and other such things of mostly no importance, but some of the people are talking about later in the afternoon, some of them are going to go see essentially a performance. There's supposed to be a grand performance being held just to the northeast of town, in amongst where you say trees. There is going to
northwest.
Oh yeah, northwest. Sorry, I keep doing that. Never eat shredded wheat. West is left. Ingrained in brain. Anyway, so to the northwest of town, there was potentially going to be. There was word of a great grand show, by someone known as the Great Norkillia. Norkillia. And you don't necessarily hear anything else of note, and the people talking about the show seem to be excited for it. It's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily sound malicious in any way. It's just the best thing that you can come up with the kind of details that you were given previously from Alara. That's all you really pick up on.
Well, with a name like Norkilla, I know that we can trust them because they're not a killer.
Sure. Yeah, that's all you really pick up on with that particular kind of info that you're searching for. Although there's talk of like various different things around town. Apparently there is a mine a little ways further north past the forest that a lot of other folks are going to be going to later as well. But that's much more like business oriented and busy work. But yeah, that's what you sort of pick up on. And Locke is awake.
So what is Locke and other party members doing during morning?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was sleeping, but now DM tell me I'm awake, so Locke is like dragging himself down and I'll like sit down by Cad.
Stumble up to the bar, hit me again.
No, he sits
Crusted
down.
dried sugar at the corner of your mouth.
No. Locke sits down at the same table as you. Was like, what you writing? Because like you were writing in a book, right?
So I'd sort of lean in so I don't have to talk suspiciously loud. And I'd just sort of mention that I'd been listening to people as they came and went. The only interesting things I've heard are basically a mine that people work at farther north of town, and apparently to the northwest there's a performer or entertainer of sorts. I think they said the name was Norkilla or Norkillia or something like that.
Norkillia.
Huh. Interesting name.
Yep.
Have you heard many people talking about that?
What'd you say, several?
There was a lot of the folks that were, well, not a lot, but there were some of the folks that was coming in for the morning were talking about it.
So multiples, but not a ton, so yeah, several.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if it's a strong lead, but it's something.
right, well, if we can't turn anything up here or at the temple, then it might be worth checking out. Big enough crowd, it's going to draw plenty of people. We ask around a bit there, see if anyone knows anything. If we don't find anything here in town, though.
That was good to me.
Sounds like a plan.
For what it's worth, Young is at the bar itself chatting up with the bartender and getting a morning drink. She's not going to drink her. She's not going to get herself drunk, but she seems not in the greatest of place right now. Because she hasn't been. She's felt like she hasn't been very helpful in the past couple of combats. So
I mean, I was going to roll an insight check to see if I figured that out, but alright.
I mean, you can roll an insight to see. I was saying that out of character. You could totally roll an insight to see if Locke picks up on it.
Nope, 6!
Nope.
Oh, it's sad.
Yeah, pretty much that's all Locke really can tell. Young seems sort of, for lack of a better way to put it, she's sort of depressed. But not necessarily super depressed, just she's not quite as energetic as she was initially when you had started hanging out with her. But yeah, and then Oak is sort of sitting with her, and the two of them are chatting up at the barkeep for a little bit as you guys was coming down. Silver, I'm going to say she might have went outside of the bar itself. Maybe we'll figure out.
No, she's sitting at the bar.
Oh, there she is.
You're back!
Timing. How did Silver? So we had everyone rest for the night. After Locke had to deal with a sugar rush that made sleeping rather difficult.
Boy.
And then the group woke up. Cad sort of was listening in general gossip, and he picked up on a few things. And then Locke came down, and Silver was probably down first, as per the usual. How do you see that Silver spent? How would have Silver spent the morning? You think?
Not just going down and trying to get, food.
Breakfast and that's about it. Yeah. Okay. So you probably ended up sitting at the same table as Cad eventually, and you would have been there when he initially picked up on stuff. So the only thing that
basically, there's a mine that people are working at north of town, and to the northwest in the forested area, there's an entertainer by the name of Norkillia. Several people were talking about them.
Okay.
But yeah. So, following that, Oak sort of sits with you, with Oak and Young sort of join back up with the rest of you, and he's, speaking to the bartender for a little bit, they've not really seen anything suspicious as far as, like, any cults or religious thing. So I don't know necessarily if anyone matching the description of, like somebody messing with the dead or somebody having some sort of cult, something or other. Although he did talk about some entertainer.
Yeah, Kat overheard about that too.
He seems really interested in her. So maybe if maybe we can go and check in with her, see if she knows something, or after all the crap, this is Cad Oak speaking, and he sort of casts a glance over at Young. After all that we've been through the past couple of weeks, it might be interesting for us to just see a show, a performance, and not necessarily... I mean, sure, we're sort of on a time crunch, but we also were gone for like a month, or 2 months. So...
I thought it was 3 months.
3 months, sorry.
No, I mean, like, you're referring to our time in the Feywild, right?
Yeah.
It was 4 months.
Stop
Someone add another number.
Stop adding numbers to it. My birthday already came and went.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm already I'm already technically 17, although physically I'm still like a couple months shy of that. Point is, like, for us, that was only like a couple days, a very stressful couple days. I will not deny that, but only a couple days. So it was only everyone else that we were gone for months.
Right. Well, my thing is, whatever sort of preparations that Nora may have done to try to, prevent us from dealing with him, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure of the time crunch and the rush that we've been on here lately, but anyway, what do we want to do then? Do we want to sort of ask around town, see if we can find anything else, or...
I mean, if asking the bartender here yielded no results, then I get the impression our next best bet would be at the temple up north, because, I mean, you would figure that they'd at least be tertiarily aware of any such groups going on around here. I mean, clerics and paladins, they can commune with deities, so if anything threatening was happening, you'd assume that their deities would ping them and let them know, or at the very least give them a nudge, nudge, wink, wink, shit's going wrong.
Depends on the kind of deity, but yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, that is a valid point, yes. I'm sorry, I'm not necessarily the most educated in terms of religious deities and things like that, but, I mean, just from what I understand on a basic level, that's how it typically works.
Yeah.
So we could probably check in with them, ask around a bit, and if nothing, then, I mean, I was going to suggest we check out that show anyway, though my motives were more let's ask around and figure out where we're going next while there, but I mean, if it's a fun show, we can have fun while we're there. I don't see why not. We can multitask.
This is true. Alright. So, do we all want to go to the temple then?
Seems like the best course of action to me. Silver
Sure.
Cad, what's your take?
Sure.
So, yes, let's go.
So, everyone will travel out to the shrine, the little temple up here.
Yep.
Okay. Do we want to do a silver kick in the door or a silver knock?
These boots are made for kicking in the door, and that's just what they'll do.
Or alternately,
Sure.
someone else could knock.
Knock.
Okay.
And just sit there and just like kind of slightly kick the door. See, I didn't break open the door this time.
So, typical shrine, temple sort of areas would usually have some sort of symbology for the deity in which they are for. And in approaching this particular temple, you guys see, to at least to one of you, a rather familiar oak leaf. The temple here is a shrine to the same shrine that Oak and his father that was in quotes, father worship. So the person that works at this temple worships the same deity that Oak does, which is cool.
I forget, what's the deity called? I don't know if I ever actually got their name.
It is. Let me get the proper spelling.
It normally starts with a B.
It's one of the ones that was so very close to like a WoW character that I always want to make sure to get the name right because otherwise I pronounce it like a WoW character. This one, Sylvanas, the Forest Father, as it were, is his more common name.
Does he have Death Rattle take your opponent's minions?
No, shush.
No.
So yeah, Sylvanas, and Oak sort of. Upon seeing that that's the sort of temple that you guys are going to be approaching, he sort of smiles at that, glad to see that he might be on the same sort of page as whoever may be working here. And Silver knocks. After a brief pause, the door is answered by a young, maybe mid to late 20s, half-elf woman. And she's, got long, silvery blue hair, and it's tied up into a nice little neat braid. And she's, sort of sees the party that's behind Silver. Can I help you?
Silver like looks at the party, like, kind of quietly says, "What are we here for again?"
I guess Locke's taking the lead on this one.
A little bit. Must be, yep.
Okay. Yep, I'll have Locke step forward, like, yeah. Hello, we're in the region looking for, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to phrase this. Fuck it, I'll just come right out and ask it. Have there been any, weird groups assembling lately? Outside of town, perhaps?
I wearing black cloaks, blah blah, the whole cult thing.
Perhaps.
Not. Well, I haven't seen anyone in a black cloak or anything creepy like that, necessarily. Although, there has been a lot of assembly for. What was her name? Norkillia. There's some sort of performer that keeps. She does a show every once in a while, and everybody seems to like her. That's technically assembly, but that's not necessarily some sort of cult or anything. She's just a performer.
Okay. Alright.
She sort of looks over you a little bit, over the group again. So, are you like some sort of traveling, adventuring, or mercenaries or something?
Adventurers would be the correct term, I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I haven't really seen anything that matches some description of a cult or anything like that. But she sort of looks past everyone else wandering around the town, and her temple's a little ways away, so not a whole lot of folks are in that general vicinity, and she's like, if you ask me though, this entertainer is a bit strange. People seem to like her and everything, and I'm not gonna say she's a bad entertainer or something, but I don't know, just something rubs me the wrong way when I went to see her the first time. And then only on that first time. Times after that, everything was fine. But I don't know. Weird.
What was it like? What was the entertainment?
Was it like song, music?
Yeah, it was music.
Poetry?
Mostly music.
Having fingers.
Music, dance. There was a little bit of poetry. Like rhythm-based poetry, and she was very, very pretty. But
What? The forest? Why was it in town? Next to the tavern. What?
she shrugs. It's like, that was my question. It's like, bards usually, hang out by the taverns, but instead she's off in some ruins up north.
Ruins?
Yeah.
That's more our style.
Farther north than the northern north.
Fish.
That's what we call the Northern North.
Or just north for short.
North.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess really the thing that's got me worried about it, because everyone else likes the shows. That's all. But my boyfriend went up that way, and he's not come back. So, I don't know what up with that. Been there for like 2 or 3 days. So, I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
Can I do like a nature check to see if I see the clouds all like swirling, going up north into a like swirling vortex of doom is up here?
Can I roll an insight check to know that the dungeon master is telling us, yeah, this is definitely the bitch you need to go fuck off?
Insight check on the DM, sure.
DC 50, no auto succeeds.
14?
Hold on. Kenneth, you know me. What's my bonus to deception? Like a 4, probably?
I'd honestly say a -1.
Hey.
You're very transparent.
True. Okay.
Given time, I would say that you're decent. I'd say probably +3.
Hey! I'd have beat you out even at a -1. Anyway, so...
No, you cannot discern the voice in the heavens.
It's fine. All signs point to this bitch be our target anyway.
Yeah, kinda.
Alright, well...
anyway...
Thank you very much for your time, miss. We'll, you get back to your stuff now.
Alrighty.
So if no giant forge hammers are falling from the sky, we should go the opposite direction.
Yeah. Anyway, she goes back on inside and continues with what she was doing.
Second the door closes. It's totally this Norkillia person.
Okay.
Norkillia.
I guess we head in that direction, okay.
Merkelia is different than Norkillia, right?
No, she said Norkillia, I just didn't articulate it well.
Dorkelia. I'm just gonna go over here now.
This name right here, man. I like that one. More than
More
Morse.
than Morse. More than Morse. Or Morse if you're pressed for time.
The real puzzle is going to be there's going to be 15 people with very painfully similar names, and it's up to us to figure out who's who.
Anyway.
I'm Norkillia. I'm Cornelia.
Anyway, moving on. So, I guess you guys are going to be heading up northwest towards said show then.
Sure.
Sure.
When it gets time for it to start, yeah, I guess.
This is true. Asking around to find out when this person's next show is supposed to be, you sort of figure you have a little bit of maybe an hour and a half time to kill in town, and then the time that it takes you to travel north towards where she is, you'd be getting there just along with the rest of the crowd that is going up to see her show. Yeah. I don't know if there's any sort of dialogues that anybody wants to have happen for that hour and a half.
Do we want to try and get there early and hide, or do we want to go as normal patrons? Or?
Well, considering if this person, this is Oak speaking, if this person is in fact who we are sent here, who we are coming here to look for, they are quite possibly going to, through Dallia or Noro, possibly have some sort of inkling that someone is going to be looking for them. So, or at least someone's going to be wise of whatever they have going on.
But they're a bard.
And?
Some bards just can't help but put on a show.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. If we went early, then she may have some degree of, like, traps or other things hidden to keep an eye out for someone who may be looking into trying to do something to her rather than enjoy her show. If we go amongst the crowd, though...
We'll blend in better and be harder to spot as a threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if we at least do some degree of magicness to you, Locke, because as you recall, at least with like Ulara, although we didn't really encounter it very much with the one guy, because we sort of, that was a really well placed spell. I'll say again, Locke.
That's a low spell?
Yeah. That seemed to mess him up really well. But...
You know what? I just thought of what I want to do before we leave.
Okay.
Hmm?
I am going to look around for any place that might sell magic scrolls.
Okay. Do you want to ask around? Well, actually, you would either be asking around or just looking around. Roll for me investigation. And I'm assuming that someone in the party is going to help you, so roll it at advantage.
Okay.
21.
One of those is a natural 20.
Yep, 21. Yeah. It doesn't take you that long at all. Maybe 10-15 minutes from the temple itself that you're near to find a magic shop. Or at least something equivalent, where you may be able to find scrolls.
Sweet. I'll head inside, and I will peruse around for magic scrolls. Specifically, I'm looking for, well, obviously, after how well it served us last time, a scroll of slow. That is the wrong rulebook I opened. I opened the FFD6 rulebook, not the D&D 5th edition player's handbook.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am looking for a spell of slow, and a spell scroll of, give me a moment as I sort through the spell list here to see if there's any others I want to find. Refresh my memory. Can I only cast spells that would fall under my purview as a warlock, or can I use any magic scroll?
If it is on a scroll, you can make use of any spell as long as it is on a scroll. So you can. The stipulation as far as a spell of a scroll, is that it is 1 year's. It does not count towards spells that you cast or anything of that nature, but you cannot adjust its level. The spell is going to cast at its base level, whatever that is.
Right, okay. Then I would also like to look for a spell of web and a spell scroll of spike growth.
You have a cleric that can do spike growth, but okay.
Yeah, but I want to be able to do it too. because I use that spell to great effect in my family game.
I tap Locke on the shoulder and I just whisper, "Elephant go fast?"
I still have a haste scroll. We're good on that front. I mean, I have a scroll of haste. I have a scroll of blink. I have 2 scrolls of expeditious retreat that my mom gave me that I still haven't used. I have a scroll of witch bolt that I know that spell just intrinsically now. I hold up the scroll of witch bolt. Anyone want this? I don't really need it.
I'll take it.
Okay, and I give it to Silver.
Yay!
You now have a scroll of witch bolt, and I don't.
Nice. So what level? Now I have a magic, a equipment book thing for like markets and prices and other such things. What is the spell level for the spells of which you are looking for?
Give me a moment. Well, slow is 3rd level. Spike growth is 2nd level. And web is 2nd level.
So 2 second levels and a 2 second levels and a 3rd.
Yep. And I'm just seeing if they have them right now. I'll decide if I want to buy any of them once I know just how expensive it's going to be.
Well, looking into the current magic shop area that you're in, the So I'm going to roll a d20 to see if she has them, if they have them available. On a 10 or higher, she does. 1, she does. So the first one you were looking for was slow, so she has slow.
Okay.
And she has. What was the second one? Web.
Web, and then the 3rd one was spike growth.
Yep, she has all 3.
Sweet.
Quick, keep using up the GM's high rolls.
What is the spell? What is the name of the spell that I now have?
Witch Bolt.
Okay.
That bolt.
Where do I find it?
Alrighty. So, looking into the cost of such a thing, she does have them, and she has them at their normal going rate. So she doesn't have them on the cheap. She's a standard magic shop that, as part of Muzuchad, gets a lot of decent trade. So she does have the spells at her disposal. So she sells them at their full standard price, which is to get 2 level 2s and 1 level 3 is going to set you back 1,000 gold.
Oh, fuck. How expensive are the level 2s individually?
250.
I can't afford any of these.
How much do you have?
I have 155 gold plus 4 platinum. It's like 195 gold total if we do the math.
I can pass you 150 gold.
I mean, how much would that leave you with?
Some.
It's not a number.
It's a non-zero amount.
It's more than 0. I mean, you can attempt to haggle, see if you could get them for a cheaper price, but...
Sure, yeah, I'll attempt to haggle that down.
Can I volunteer to balance their books later to give him advantage?
Sure.
Okay.
This would be persuasion.
Before we leave, I have to help them balance their books.
Persuasion is a skill I actually have a lot of points in with advantage. 24!
Alright. So how much did you say you had?
I have 195 if we count my platinum.
Okay. So if you have 195 and including your platinum, if you and Cad sort of split perhaps split the difference, you can get, with that 24, sure. With the 24, I'll give you 2 level 2 spells for 200, which is less than the price of 1 level 2 spell for 2 spells.
Oof. Nice. Okay. In that case, Cad, you can probably get away with just contributing like 50 gold in that case, and I can cover the rest comfortably enough myself.
Sounds good, buddy.
Okay.
I fish it out and hand it to him.
All right. So then, you said 200?
Hmm.
All right. I will lead with my 4 platinum, bring it down to 160 just to make the math easier on myself, which I do believe then will leave me with 45 gold pieces if I'm doing my math right.
Yeah, should be.
And that gives me the web and spike growth scrolls, yes?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep, you do in fact have web and spike growth. You were not able to get slow.
Oh well.
But, oh well. Alright.
I can live without it.
Anyone else want to look into any kind of magic or anything to have? It seems that this particular magic shop is on the realm of normal prices, and magic is generally expensive. So, probably not, but the offer stands as well. Not so much on Cad. He doesn't really do magic. But the offer's there if Silver wants to look into anything.
Just trying to think of what you would use.
Ultimately, you don't have to. You did get a random witch bolt out of nowhere, so.
Yeah, I did.
But it is like a magic scroll shop and such, right?
Yeah.
How much was ink that was prohibitively expensive before? Like, not magical, just normal ink?
Wait, so how does spells work again? Like, on scrolls?
Spell scrolls, if you make use of a spell scroll, you don't have to have any kind of, the significance of a spell scroll is you have a 1 use of said spell. The 1 use of said spell is at the spell's normal level, whatever the base level of that spell is, and does not count.
Do I have to be able to cast at that level?
No. Well, you have to be able to cast that level of spell, but not exactly that spell. So it doesn't have to be a spell you have, but for example,
or even from your class spell list, just as long as you are of an appropriate spell level to cast that spell.
Yes.
I'm guessing you have to do like an Arcana check, or it fizzles, or is it just auto cast?
It auto casts in my experience. We haven't done
it auto cast. There would be no rolls involved, but
right.
You could.
And they don't consume spell slots, right? Refresh my memory on
right.
that.
They don't make use of spell slots, but you can't, for purposes of like balance sakes, one would have to have the ability to cast spells and the ability to cast spells of that spell's level to use a spell scroll. This way, you don't give like a level 4 fireball to a level 1 wizard.
Or you cast haste on a certain rampaging elephant who charges in and like obliterates people with spells and then runs out frothing at the mouth. What I miss?
Yeah, exactly. So there is the stipulation to that a character has to be able to cast spells to make use of spell scrolls, and in that sense, you would have to be able to cast spells of that level. Not to mention the fact that spell scrolls only go up to level 5 anyway. So, unless they're super, 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 super crazy rare, like magic drop or something like that, you're not going to be able to find a spell of level 6 or higher in a shop somewhere. But anyway, so
Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking through like a spell list.
oh, you're fine. Go right ahead. If you think Silver's got some money she can throw towards the spell, sure.
A little, maybe.
What level is Counterspell?
Counterspell is, I think level 3 or 2.
Yeah, it's
Two-
level 3.
two or 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3rd level spell.
Okay, that's 1.
That's why Counterspell automatically counters anything level 3 or lower, because Counterspell itself is level 3. And that's part of what you get out of Counterspell if you cast it at higher levels, is the capability to counter higher level spells.
Gotcha.
Without having to roll. You don't necessarily have to use Counterspell to counter a high... You can use level 3 Counterspell on a higher level spell for purposes of you don't necessarily know what a spell's level is before you cast Counterspell. But doing so, you have to roll a contested Arcana against who's normally countering the spell in order to succeed. But yeah, Counterspell's fun. And this gives me something to...
Why is this so hard to pick?
Roll a d20.
Okay, I have 2 that I want to look for.
Okay.
I'm looking for Enlarge
Ooh.
and
Okay.
Mirror Image.
What level are those spells?
They're going to be a 2nd level spell. Both those.
So they are both level 2s. I've already established from my previous rolls that she is pretty well supplied currently. I mean 3 in a row and she rolled higher than a 15. So yeah. Yeah, she can potentially have those. Those are level 2. So just like with Locke, they are going to be, unless you want to haggle like Locke did, they are going to be 250 apiece. You could haggle like Locke did, which is persuasion, which
Yeah, I know I could. I could try to do charms.
you could.
Wait, do I? Okay, good. I actually don't have it. It's gonna be like, oh, can I actually do something to improve my luck?
Friends.
No, charm. I don't have that.
Just charm person. Well, you're going to get persuasion at advantage because Locke had his wingman of in the form of an elephant, and you're going to have your wingman in the form of Young.
Sure.
So persuasion at advantage. Go for it.
12.
Wow.
Shit.
Okay. So Locke rolled a 24, which is twice that, and Locke got 2 spells for less than the price of 1.
So now she can get 1 for less than the price of 1.
She could get...
I can get 1 for the price of 1.
You could get 1 for less than the price of 1. She would give you one of those spells for 200. And Young, being your wingman, Young is also able to help you with potential gold if you needed it.
I am sad now. I have to pick.
You do have to pick. What was it, between Enlarge and Mirror Image?
I'm going to cough up the 200 for the Enlarge spell.
Full price on your own, none from Young? Or no help from Young?
If she wants to throw in some money, that would be great.
Yeah. She will... let me double check. Yeah, she's willing to throw in 50 gold if that would help you out. So it's 150 for you. This particular shopkeep did a pretty well sale today. She doesn't get a whole lot of adventuring types that want the high level stuff. A lot of the times, if she sells something, it's the low level cantrips.
Yeah,
but
Silver's just sitting there being like slightly sheepish.
Did
I
you
can't
ever
believe my
tell me
persuasion
why?
failed.
Okay, remind me what scrolls you got?
Witch
You
Bolt.
gave me a witch bulb,
Right, I gave you which
and then I just bought Enlarge.
Okay.
Can you see my plan?
Get swole and become a towering Thor lady who blasts people with lightning?
No.
I mean, you could.
I know I could, but no, I have something else.
Be terrifying is what you're going to do.
I don't know what enlarge does other than make you bigger, so...
It's bigger and more damage.
Oh.
When you already deal a crap ton.
Yes, but I'll give you a hint. It's not for me.
Oh.
So Locke gets swole.
Nope.
Does Cad get swole? That would be terrifying.
Yes, and you said there is another scroll of haste.
I think so. Locke still had a scroll of haste. Yeah.
Let's use both those scrolls on Cat and just unleash him on this bard.
Also, I just remembered I can actually cast slow using one of my spell slots thanks to one of my Eldritch invocations.
True.
Nice.
Okay. Anyway,
You have that at my disposal.
so, you guys are ready for the insanity, or whatever it may be. And you are going to then make your way to the aforementioned forest. Oh, right. Cad was wanting to buy a quill and ink.
Yeah, I was The last time that we looked it up, it was expensive and I couldn't afford it, but now I have money, and it's a shop that would logically have paper and ink and stuff, I would assume.
Yeah. So, if you was to buy a 1 ounce, a single 1 ounce bottle of ink, it would run you 10 gold. And an ink pen, to dip into said ink, would be 2 copper.
I thought you were gonna say it was like 3 gold or something. I'm like, I'll go chase a chicken. Good grief. Okay.
No, it's 2 copper. And then for like basic paper and other such things, you are, let's see here.
I already have a lot of parchment, but I used my last fine piece of paper, and I never know when I'll need one. So, how much is a fine sheet of paper?
It is 2 silver for 1 sheet of paper, and then parchment is 1 silver. So 2 silver for the fine piece of paper, and then 1 silver for the basic.
Okay, so I deducted for the. You said what was 2 copper? The quill.
Yeah, the quill.
And then 2 silver and 1 silver is 3 silver, which gives me what?
2 silver is the parchment, or the paper, the fine paper, and then 1 silver is the parchment, the basic paper.
Okay. So I actually didn't need the parchment. I already have that. And how much was the ink? You said 10?
10 for the ink, 1 ounce bottle of ink. Yep.
Okay. Yay, I can actually do stuff now. Without having to borrow someone's stuff.
You want to be a bookkeeper when you're randomly Loxodon Bard? Or Barbarian, rather?
Loxodon Barbarian?
Yeah, Loxodon Barbarian. Yeah, it's kind of adorable. Anyway, so, yeah. You can pick up your inkwell and other such things.
Yay, I did.
Alrighty. So, following that, you guys begin to make your way to said lovely concert place, or whatever it may be attributed to. Who is leading the charge? What sort of marching order are we going to this place?
I am not going in first. I am squishy.
Before we go, I need to visit the little elves room.
You're not an elf.
Can you
Yeah,
fit?
sure.
I walk in, and after a minute or two, Shadowgrasp comes walking out, sort of straightening his clothes. And just sort of,
Right, yeah.
Okay.
See, I thought you meant like in real life there for a minute.
I did too.
It's like,
Anyway, alright. So, who's leading the charge? Silver or Cad?
Silver.
Silver. Alright, cool.
He'll help.
Go ahead.
You know what?
You-
How about we
do
walk
you-
side by side?
It's actually a really nice looking map.
It
Yes.
is.
Alrighty.
He drew it one pixel at a time.
Like it doesn't suck. What sorcery is this?
Generated map?
No, not generated map. I looked online and I found a map that actually fit what I was looking for. I edited it and tweaked it ever so minutely to meet my purposes, and it actually doesn't look horrible. So hurrah! I'm getting better.
He had it.
And-
The fuck are the blue things?
I'm guessing those are common
Patron.
people.
The rupees and gems and things are the common people that are going up to the going to be joining in on the show. However, these two down here,
Bouncers.
bouncers or guards, yes.
Troy.
Certainly.
So you granted that's a ways away from where you're standing, but you have a forest and you have essentially a line of people, and yeah, so
All of a sudden, techno music pours out of the forest, and all these children come running up from nowhere.
no, not
Okay.
quite.
They want a Jack reference.
I know, I caught it. So yeah, are you guys going to join in on the line of people in the crowd, or are you going to try to do some sort of espionage sort of situation? And now, I will point out, the big black box that you can't see into,
Isn't
That-
it interior, I'm assuming?
that is basically, yeah, that is the ruins, or what was ruins, that have been built up into a essentially a performance hall of sorts. And you can tell just from even this basic distance from where you guys are, especially in like the back area back here, the walls have been sort of refurbished a little bit, because this was ruins, and on some levels some parts of it were rebuilt and put back together. Most of the ruins itself is stone and stonework, though most of the parts of the rebuilt bits are partially wood and stone and other such things. So you can sort of tell where the ruins ends and the rebuilt begins. That's the sort of distinction between these two wall pieces here. So yeah, you guys can decide how you want to make your way.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic, because I can do that without expending a spell slot. So eyes glowing purple for a moment, and I can see anything magical within 30 feet.
Other than Shadow Grasp, wiggling fingers and grinning.
Yes, other than my companions.
Other than your companions in the immediate vicinity of 30 feet from you, there's nothing magical. I'm going to assume you're going to keep that going as you go.
Yep, I'm going to keep that going just in case.
Alright.
I'm also
So,
just keeping my eyes open for anything suspicious.
I
alright.
guess we're getting in line. Unless Young is going to go do something.
I guess we're getting in line.
Yeah, you're pretty much getting in line. Which it goes fairly fast, actually. So,
I don't
This
know.
guy-
They take forever to walk up.
oh shush.
It's social
Um,
distancing. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
At least 2 squares.
I mean, if you'll increase your passive aura, then I'll be as far away as you want within it.
But yeah.
That can't happen yet until I reach a certain level.
So,
Need a
you guys make your way. Okay. So, Locke, you had your detect magic aura going. Actually,
the Daycrew tree.
no, nope, not yet. I had to recheck my distance. But yeah, assuming that Silver doesn't want to chat up the crowd or something or other, you guys will eventually make your way all the way up there.
There, that's how far my detect magic reaches.
Oh, good grief.
It's 30 feet.
It is 30 feet. So, I'm just sort of going to skip over because it's easier. Because I don't think you guys are going to chat with each other or with the crowd. And I want to also move Yong and Oak. Meow.
So, she goes, meow. What sound does Oak make?
I don't know.
No, wait, that's Cat.
Anyway, yeah. As you are approaching these two guards and moving closer, having gotten closer to them, you sort of get a better look at them. Obviously, they appear to be a sort of heavy-built, sort of burly human and a like a half-orc. One on the left they're the same diamond-shaped thing, but that's beside the point. One on the left is a half-orc, and one on the right is the one on the left is this one, right here, is a human, and this one is a half-orc. And Locke, upon you getting close enough with your aura thingy, there is a very strong and very present magic aura going as you've gotten close. And the spell school that it would be is illusion.
I will awaken to mind and ping the group and let them know there's a very powerful illusion aura coming off of this building. Fair warning.
I turn to him and I nod. Mm-hmm.
And I just nod back. Get the flutes.
All right.
I don't actually say that.
So, Silver, you are approaching first, and you are approaching to the two bouncers or guards.
To enter your establishment.
The human sort of.
We are not at all suspicious. Not in character.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I hope you don't say that.
We are not at all suspicious.
No, that's only happens when she tries to persuade someone. It's like we're not at all
suspicious. The human sort of and Silver, you can sort of see them getting a decent look at them. They do appear to be bouncers, guards. We
can take them.
The half-orc doesn't appear to be armed in any way, and he's just sort of standing there with his arms crossed. And the human, he's got you can see a scimitar at his hip, and he seems to be slightly armored in some persuasion. Maybe like medium leather armor or something akin. And so the human speaks up and he's, more folks arriving for our lovely show coming then.
Yes.
He sort of looks amongst the party and you don't seem to be that of the common folk like everyone else that was going in here recently. Well, that'll be interesting then. It will be 5 silver a head for entry fee. Actually, very cheap.
It'd be like 10 copper.
I mean, that'd be a silver.
It is 5 silver a head. Although if one person wanted to pay in gold, they could pay 3 gold and get change back. So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna yuck 3 gold. I might have 40 to spare. Yeah.
He's literally gonna throw it at them?
No. Well, no, not literally throw it at them.
I was gonna say.
I'll sort of bring her, just hand it to him, and yeah.
Okay.
Locke is a lot more subtle than the kind of person who will just throw shit at people. That's more Luvina or Skunk Stink.
Right. Alright, so...
Like, here, take your dirty money. We didn't just kill someone for it.
I'm assuming no one else stops Locke from paying 3 gold for everyone.
No.
It's fine.
Locke, make for me a perception check.
Okay. I wish I had more in perception. 11.
Okay. So the orc that had, or the half orc that had his arms crossed, he sort of reaches out and takes your gold, pockets it to the side, and then he sort of fishes for a second and gives you 5 silver as change. And then the two step away, and you guys can make your way inside.
And I will distribute that 5 silver evenly amongst the group, so everyone is now 1 silver richer.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going first, or does Locke go in first? Since you paid.
I will take back my position behind Cad, or next to him, I suppose.
Yo, we're going first. She disappears into the darkness.
Yes. Give me just a second.
Oh, it's very dark.
We won't fade into darkness.
You will see the entire stage coming into here. The entire stage and area coming into here. Boop.
Boop. Swanky.
So the crowd has made their way to, like, basically the audience area here. You have to use Alt to get onto the chairs because I made the map in a different place and couldn't get it to line up properly. Sorry. And then
It's wise for.
Wow,
Yep.
full house. Imagine that.
indeed.
I like how there are conveniently enough chairs left for the rest of us.
Indeed, right?
So convenient, right?
It's almost as if it was planned.
Almost, right?
So
You'd think we'd have to be scattered.
So with that, you guys have a nice. Norkillia has a nice full house for her performance.
Right.
And
my detect magic is still going, so do I see anything weird about her? Because I see her up there on the stage, right?
Yep. When you were traveling through, when you got up to the stage, there was it was sort of heavily permeating the entire area, though it seemed to mostly focus on the individuals. And yes, that same magic aura, it is the same strong magic aura that is permeating from her.
I will awaken mine and convey this information to the rest of the party.
Yep.
You said
Alrighty.
with Awaken Mind the person can respond, right?
Yeah, you can talk back to me as long as I have that link with you.
So when you inform me that she is the source, you hear me say, "Oh."
Wait, what kind of lady is it?
Yes, describe it, chick, for us, please.
With
Indeed.
fiery hair.
So, looking up on stage, you see before you a absolutely gorgeous half-elf. Young half-elf, probably mid to late 20s. She's got long red hair, sort of a copper skin and things. She's beautiful. We're talking charisma? Yes, obviously. She's a bard.
I'm going to roll a I'm going to roll a charisma saving throw for myself really quick. And Locke finds it ridiculously attractive. Okay.
I must as well. Since there's a chance I could get one. Oh, 28. She's still hot.
Okay, I guess I should too. How does she smell?
I don't think you're attracted to the humanoid.
How does she smell?
Oh my god.
Lilac and gooseberries.
There's another thing. It's like I roll a charisma saving throw. How does she smell?
Well, he rolled perception, not charisma saving throw.
I know.
That's funny. She smells quite nice, actually. It may or may not be from various forms of perfumes and other such things, but yeah, she smells fairly nice. So, with that in mind, she is going to begin her performance with everyone on the audience there to listen. This is going to either be really cool or mostly suck, because I have to try to perform on her behalf.
No, you just...
Whoever wants to... Actually, I will do it this way. Whoever wants to be decent at poetry, or has any sort of sense of rhythm, this is the kind of lyrics she goes through. And it's sort of R&B-ish, or pop-ish. And it's in the Discord chat.
Okay, so you want someone else to just read this off?
You don't necessarily have to, but I'm sure it doesn't take too long for anyone to read through a thing.
For the benefit of the audience. For the benefit of the audience,
Say it in your most manliest voice.
No, I'm just going to read it off clearly.
Okay.
Because... One, Locke is not manly. He is a fucking adolescent. He's still going through puberty, as is evidenced by the effort he is making to try and hide his tent.
Oh, that's not fair.
He is 17! 16, technically.
That song. It's not fair.
Let's see here. It reads, "You're here to stop me. I say you're crazy. Come on, let's have some fun. Why be so scary? Let's just be merry. It looks like I've already won. Let's see if that red flag counters at 11 already. Step down, you don't stand a chance. Step up, we're all here to dance. It's getting hazy. Let's not be lazy. 3, 2, 1. To the right, you'll fall in love as my hips glide. To the left, you'll lose your mind as feet slide. My killer moves will make your mind and body lock. Forget it all. Nothing matters. It's time to rock." What the fuck is rock music? We're in the Middle Ages.
Shush.
Never. You're here to watch. You want me to shush? You want me to shush? You need to make Locke mute.
She's
somehow.
sitting there saying, "Gotta rock with the music."
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pitching shit at the DM because it's what I do. I pitch it at my friends. Shut up.
You do,
I know.
yes.
Alright, so. You're here to watch my every move. You will enjoy my show. I will put a spell on you. Please don't do that. You are under my control. You're here to watch my every move. You will enjoy my show. I will put a spell on you. You're under my control. You're under my control. I don't like those.
How many more? Red flags?
Well, I mean, how many lines long is that song? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Several. It is technically it is technically modeled after the first verse of.
That would be 35 red flags now. 24 on top of 11. That is 35.
It is technically modeled after the first verse of this song here. Boop. Which that one's technically a cover, but that's okay.
Right. Interesting.
Having done that, and everyone here to listen to all of that, this is not a charisma saving throw. It is a wisdom saving throw.
A shame. I actually have charisma.
And everyone would get benefits and bonuses from Silver because they are they are close to.
Including the 10 diamonds from Final Fantasy's logo.
Yes. Yeah. So, wisdom saving throws. And Locke, you have
9.
advantage. You have advantage.
Oh, I do?
It's a charm effect.
Oh, and also you have a +4.
So, 21 total then with that advantage and +4. Thank fuck. It would have been a 13 otherwise.
Alright.
15. Oh yeah.
Is a 17 for, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 19 for Cad.
Yes, that is how math works.
Yes. Okay. So let us do.
13.
So up staring at her hip swaying.
Yep.
That would be at a plus. That would be at a plus 4. So 9, 10, 11, 12. That is Young's. And then. Oh.
Oh no.
I mean, 19's pretty good. That's something.
At a plus
You
4.
are-
So
Oh, then
six-
you.
at 16. So.
Yay!
So it's a 13 and a 12 are the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. 13 and a 12 is bottom of the barrel. But this lovely bard lady is very good at what she does. Her DC for her charm effects is a 20. The only one who succeeded was Locke.
The one who's pitching a tent is the only one who passed the saving throw.
You're not the only one pitching a tent.
You don't have a dick.
I know.
You're pitching something else.
Yes.
So yeah, everyone failed except for Locke.
Poor Locke. Like, can he tell we're charmed?
Well,
Not-
he'd
or
probably have to
not
look
really.
at it to perceive.
Good point.
So, Locke, you have your detect magic aura thingy going, and there is a illusion aura of magic permeating from everyone around the room. Well, mostly all of the people, other than the crowd, and her various guards and things that you saw that they had made their way inside eventually. Yeah. With your detect magic going, you realize as this wonderful little song that she performs comes to an end, that there's a magic aura on your friends.
Would it be possible for me to surreptitiously cast counterspell without anyone noticing?
You would if this was a spell, but it's not.
Oh. What
It's
type
a-
of magic aura?
Again, because it is technically not a spell, it has a magic aura because it's a spell-like effect, but it's not part of any school. She technically used the bard ability, Enthralling Performance, which basically gives a charm effect for an hour to all potential targets that she. She technically has a 5 maximum, which, considering the nature of the crowd is all common folk and then randomly 5 adventurers.
They all count as 0 hit dice.
Well, she's not focusing on the crowd. She sometimes focuses on the crowd when it's different various people. She picks and chooses based on what they apparent. But you guys are the most interesting of the crowd. So, the 5 in which she chooses is you guys. It just so happens that her limit is 5 people, and there's 5 of you. So,
Yay.
having accomplished that, Cad, or Locke, you feel the magic aura around your friends. You can't really discern what that magic aura is. It doesn't become linked to a school, which you know that to usually mean that the spell itself is a spell-like effect, as opposed to a spell. So for you two, Silver and Cad, her performance is absolutely amazing. You are, at this point in time, your mental facilities essentially say that she is the greatest performer that you have ever seen. And you will listen to whatever she says to do, without question.
Ha ha, half elf hot.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Locke, noticing the magic part of it, is going to use Awaken Mind and just one at a time start going through the group. So, starting with Yang behind me. Young, you okay back there?
She's
You
absolutely...
can hear the drool in the mind.
Young's response in mind is, she's absolutely wonderful. Isn't she wonderful,
Okay,
Locke?
I mean, yeah, she's a great singer, I'm not denying that, but there's something off here. Like, magic over the crowd or something, I'm not sure.
Don't think it matters. She's absolutely amazing.
I'm pretty sure it matters, but alright. I am then going to more or less repeat this process one at a time with each person, informing them that I've detected magic bullshittery, starting with next with Oak.
Pretty much the same sort of response you got from Young.
Alright.
Makes that
Cad.
easy.
I'd like to balance her books.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I look down while facing Cad. Is he alright? That's a
I don't-
question for Kenneth to answer.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, you know,
Okay.
fine.
Alright. And then, Silver. Magic bullshittery. Locke detects.
What are you talking about, Locke? Just shut up and watch. Leave me alone.
And Locke is going to do his best to look as enthralled as the rest of the crowd. Because, I mean, to be fair, he does think she's absolutely attractive as all fuck.
Mhm.
So he's going to hinge on that. But now I know I'm kind of on my own here. Oh dear.
Okay. So, following that, her performance is over with. Another 10, 20 minutes or so, she has another song or two she goes through, and then she sort of eases out the crowd to let everyone leave. But if any of the party starts to try to leave, which they don't, because you guys want to stay there, except for Locke, technically.
Yeah, Locke's kind of wanting to get everyone out of here because he's worried about their states, but I'm guessing he's not really having much impact.
Nope. With that, she will beckon everyone to follow. Also, I was supposed to not have that be seen in the back there, but I forgot. Whoops. Anyway,
I see.
there's basically a crevice or hole in the backstage back here.
Oh,
Oh no,
We're in ruins.
she's going to take us into her hole.
singer has hole.
I'm sorry, Locke is internally terrified right now, so making jokes like that are his way of coping with the situation.
Right. So, she will beckon everyone to follow her, and she'll sort of, she'll eye Locke. By the way, Cad, because your focus has now been to her, and because it has been close to an hour, the concentration on your hat of entertainment went poof. So you are an elephant now.
Oh. Okay, I removed the icon.
So yeah, she will beckon you guys all backstage and around the wall here.
I slowly walk towards the wall and climb up the wall.
you would. Whoops, I moved Locke. I did not mean to move Locke. You would technically go around the stage this way, but that's fine.
Just too specifically, then I would. If she said come up stage, then I would slowly, mindlessly walk up the vertical
true.
face and be up on the stage.
This is true.
Yep,
I can athletics if I have to.
No, you're fine.
yeah, I'm trying to stick. Yeah, I'm trying to stick near the back of the group.
Right. All right. So she will beckon you. I'm not going to move the tokens right now because it's much simpler to do it a different way. She will beckon everyone to follow around, and coming around the side, you will see like a small hole, sort of a crevasse or something of the sort. It is very steep. So to make your way down, she essentially just sort of slides down, which she makes look very attractive because that's the way she is. And pretty much anyone...
She's going to attempt to slide down and try to make it look cool.
Everyone who's going to go downstairs, essentially downstairs, can make an acrobatics check to go downstairs.
That is acrobatics and not athletics.
Oh.
It is acrobatics because it's a dex thing.
21.
Getting shown up by an elephant.
I do a forward somersault over Silver's head so that I can get with Entertainer faster.
You cat.
There's that for Young, and then Oak. Yep.
I guess
Okay.
it's just me and Young just sitting there now, slap fighting each other like, get away. How can I get her?
So yeah, you guys make your way down. Oak sort of trips and stumbles, but he's sort of the last to go before Locke. And he's undeterred from the fact that he stumbled and fell on his face, and he just gets right back up and is mindlessly following.
And I am just doing my absolute damnedest to just blend in with them.
Roll deception.
Can I get advantage because I'm small?
If you want to hide amongst the crowd, you can roll stealth, but if she knows you're there, so it's deception.
23.
Oh wow, nice.
Nice.
I have stats in deception. This character was
Insight.
originally going to be a lot more lie heavy than he wound up being.
Yeah. Let us see here.
It'd be insight, whatever.
It would be insight, yeah. That is not one of her mini skills. How about that?
She can
Insight
seduce
is-
people, but she can't tell if they're just faking it. Nice.
So insight is a wisdom thing, yes?
Yes. And if she's high enough level, does she have jack of all? She should have jack of all trades.
Oh, she does.
So that's.
Okay. So, she sort of eyes you, Locke, as you're following along, but you guys make your way down. And as you go downstairs, before you get into the map of sorts, yeah, she is going to humbly request for everyone to remove whatever form of gear they have.
Oh, joy. We're getting robbed.
Can I surreptitiously look around? Like, is there anything else in here, or is it just her?
Technically the guards would have followed you. They would have been towards the end of the thing. So yeah, the guards are coming with.
Oh, good.
So we're sitting there cursing at her straps. Clank, clank, clank.
But you can make a perception check to see if you notice anything else going on around where you are.
Yes, please. I'm literally the only one capable of acting of my own accord right now. 15 perception?
You have dark vision? Yep.
Yes.
Uh-oh. It is extremely dark down here. Cad, you and Oak are in complete and total darkness. Because
I'm fine with that.
Because you guys don't have dark vision. But, so, looking around, Locke, you pick up on you being the only one that's sort of taking a look around you. This room that you are in is fairly sparse. There's not a whole lot in it. There's doors to... Let me double check my map here. Before
Question.
I take...
Does that include everything equipment?
What sort of everything are you implying there?
My amulet of health?
Like after sort of getting the lay of the land, I was gonna have Locke ask a question along those same lines.
Oh no.
So
oh, no.
She does she have detect magic? I wonder. I don't think she technically does.
That means she's great at it.
Oh god, what would my AC be without the half plate?
It
Half
should.
plate's
shield.
17, right?
I think it's
Let's see,
15.
with the shield,
You had
it's 10 plus your dex, right?
your half plate is usually by itself. In 5th edition, it's 15 and plus your dex, which your dex is 1. So.
No, my dex is not 1.
Oh.
It's 15 plus dex of a max of 2.
Yeah.
Wait.
Do you have a shield?
Yes, which is 2.
Shield is just plus 2. Your AC without armor entirely would be 10 plus your dex. Yes.
Which is 10.
Oh.
What's your dex?
0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
So she does not have detect magic, and she is not proficient in Arcana sort of situations, oddly enough. She is more a doer than a knower.
I bet she's a doer.
She is. So with that, she's actually not going to take your amulet. So,
But
make
she
that.
said take equipment off.
It's
It
more
is-
of a question, would we follow suit to drop everything, or would we not? It's less of a question if she would make us do it, unless she's
True.
watching everything we take off.
I mean, we were kind of in the middle of me getting the lay of the land when we went on this side tangent.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So.
The question I mean to ask.
Sorry. With that in mind, you for 15 perception, you pick up on this room is very sparse. There's not a whole lot in it at all. And the one thing that it does have a lot of in it is what looks like it vaguely, for like Locke, who might not necessarily have the knowledge of it, it vaguely at first seems like some sort of a carcass or something, but then you realize that no, it's not a carcass, it's skin, because in the corner of the room is a very, very big snake, just hanging out in the corner of the room.
Like, awake?
The snake seems to be just watching the group, kind of like a guard dog would, that's just sitting in the corner.
Okay! That's alarming!
Uh-huh.
Now for Locke's
It's charming.
question. Now for Locke's question, which is going to be, are we just talking weapons and armor, or is this getting, and like
She
visibly
said-
turns tomato.
Equipment. So,
Yes, equipment can include clothes.
She smiles and chuckles. Just equipment and gear, honey. No clothes required.
Okay, so that does include my amulet. Great, I can't remember what my constitution was.
No clothes required. Take soft clothes.
Oh, boy.
No clothes required. Or underwear.
I do believe your constitution prior to your amulet was
Was it an odd number?
I can't remember if it was 13 or 15.
I want to say 15, because you were decently high, I think.
Right.
So I would want to say 15. I would shoot for 15. But I'm going to, assuming that Locke is wanting to continue to follow suit with everything that she does, and get rid of gear and other such things.
No, 6.
I'm assuming she has dark vision?
Oh yeah, she does.
Half elf, same race as me, yep.
No.
Oh, by the way, your detect magic is probably off at this point.
Oh yeah, it only lasts for 10 minutes with concentration.
Yeah. Okay. So that is proficiency modifier of 5, and she actually does have perception as her thingy.
For a 5?
Yep.
She's a bard.
What fucking level is this bard?
Dude.
Technically 16. But anyway, so yeah, that. Perception check for her. Boom. She rolled garbage and she still made it.
There's literally no way she could have failed that.
No, there's not. But I rolled it anyway. So she keeps you try to sleight of hand your dagger, and she sort of tilts her head at you. The dagger too, honey. All your stuff.
I'm sorry. It's just I gestured at the big snake. It's the big snake. I'm scared of snakes, and it'll just make me feel more comfortable. Okay?
Really? So you're worried about a snake instead of watching me?
What are you going to be doing? Turning red again. Just willing himself to blush.
Which I'm guessing is not hard.
Oh, you poor dear. That's fine. I'll keep you safe from the snakes. You'll be okay. You'll be with me, okay? And tell you what. She sort of looks you up and down. Tell you what. You can keep the dagger. Just promise not to stab me, okay?
Okay. Alright. And for the time being, I'll go along with it.
Alrighty. So,
I figured out all of my things now, so.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So you guys come downstairs, and you have made your way into this room, and this room has, 2 doors, one to the right and to the left, and some guards will come down and follow with you, and so Young will go off to the left from your guys' perspective, and one guard will send Young off to the left, and then the other guard will go to the right with everyone else. Young's essentially been sent off by herself. And
She special treatment.
something like that. She gets sent off by herself. And then you come out of that room and into another room. Locke, I'm sort of gonna let you keep your 15 perception. This room has chains. It looks very much like a veritable dungeon. And there are remains, not necessarily fresh of any persuasion, but also not really decayed either. Weird. And they are sort of either resting on the floor or in the chains against the wall. And she beckons Silver to just join those others on the wall. She is asking Silver, through the use of her charm effect, having removed all of her gear, to bind herself to the wall.
Oh, she'll gladly go do it. She's smiling like an idiot.
She is indeed. So, you follow through with this, you go into another room, and another door, and you sort of split off. And Cad is left in the next room you come to. Cad is left, or not Cad, Oak. Oak is left in the next room you come to, and is told to do the very same thing. And when it's established that Oak cannot see the chains he's supposed to bind himself to, the half-elf sort of chuckles, and she's, you poor thing, can't see in the dark. Help him, would you? And the guards will help Oak bind himself to the wall. And then the guard will lead Cad to another room to do the same thing. And meanwhile, she will beckon Locke to follow her. And you'll come to follow her into another room. And this room, as you can tell, Locke, looks sort of like a lab or a den. It's sort of alchemy-ish, but not quite. And she will ask you to have a seat in a chair that has there. And I will now put you guys on a different map. Hooray! This map should all be utter darkness.
It
Yay.
is.
It is complete and total darkness.
Okay.
So, the lady's asking me to sit in a chair?
Yep. You're to sit in a chair.
Does it look like a painful chair?
No. It's got chains on it, but it doesn't look like a painful chair.
Alright. And what's going to happen in the chair?
Just going to have a seat. I'm going to talk to you for a little while.
About?
We'll see.
30
May
minutes,
prove to-
give or take.
It may prove to be very interesting.
Just a side question. Are you gonna open up the areas that our characters are in? Oh, yep. There you go. Never mind.
That's what I'm
Question
doing.
answered. I was like the
Um,
ones I can actually see.
On the one hand, I'm worried that if I keep going along with this, I'm going to get trapped and won't be able to slip free.
Oh, we're fucked, dude. It's just you against 3 and a snake,
Yeah, you see, that's why
and
my
maybe more.
Yeah, you see, that's why my idea isn't fight. My idea is get out and come back later.
So, she will ask you to have a seat and bind yourself to the chair, basically.
I thought Cad can't see in the dark.
Cad can't see in the dark. He was helped there with a guard in the same way that Oak was. And then the guard left.
All right, bind myself to. Are there any other people in this room?
Nope.
Is the lady doing anything with like the alchemy stuff at the moment, like making her over to the table, or is she keeping her eyes on me? What's she doing?
She's watching you. Very intently, actually.
And is it just us two?
Just you two.
Okay. I think I'll stay standing if it's all the same to you. Chains and me don't really mix well.
Really?
Just not a fan. I like being able to move around.
Something tells me, my magic didn't work so well on you.
You were close, I'll give you that.
That's too bad.
I'll sort of jerk my head back towards the door and ask, so what are you doing to the rest of them? I saw the remains. Are you going to kill them too?
No, not me.
Not you? Then who? The snake?
I think you might want to not worry about your friends. Keep an eye on me, kid. Charisma save.
With advantage.
With
Actually,
advantage?
let me double check.
Yeah, is it a charming effect?
It would be a charm effect, but let me make sure it's a charisma save. I gotta check the spell.
But she's also focused exactly on him, and he has no other distractions in the room, so he gets disadvantage, which neutralizes.
But you'd also think that I'd also wind up getting an advantage because I'm aware she's pulling shit and will know to be resistant.
This is true. So that's 2 advantages and a disadvantage.
So it's just an advantage?
It is a
Just
charm.
okay.
It is a charm effect, so it would have advantage, and it is a wisdom saving throw, not a charisma.
Oh, shit. Here's hoping. High roll. 16?
Nope. So the concept of tunnel vision, basically, you are effectively, for the moment at least, enthralled by her, which means that any other people or any other things that are wandering around the room, you are not going to notice. You are tunnel visioning to watch her.
But I'm still in full control of my faculties,
yes, you are still in control of your facilities and things. You're just not physically aware of anything that happens around you other than her.
Then I'm expending a spell slot and immediately turning invisible.
Does that take concentration?
Invisible would take concentration. What level's invisibility?
Second. But because Warlock can auto-cast at my highest, so 4th, I think, is how that works in this case.
Cheeky kid. I think you'll have a hard time getting out of here. Locke, you go invisible.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to back up until my back hits the wall,
Okay.
so that something can't sneak up directly behind me. And I'm going to, since I can't take my eyes off of her, I'm going to hold as still as possible and wait for that effect to wear out.
How long does invisibility last?
Up to an hour.
Nice. Okay. So she's still keeping her eyes on the room and sort of just watching. And you see, as you have gone invisible, and just as that spell starts to wear off, there is a flash somewhat similar to your own when you do detect magic and other such things. There's a flash to her eyes, and she just sort of... I can still see you, by the way. You're not going anywhere. What are you up to? Locke, was it, I think?
Look, how about we cut the bullshit and just get to the chase? What do you want?
To do my job, to get rid of you and your friends.
Oh, cute. You know, you're not the first one who will have tried.
No, I'm not, but I'll probably be the first one to succeed.
Somehow I doubt that. That's not how this plot armor shit typically works.
Sort of tilts her head at you. Like,
you wouldn't be the first to succeed. You'd be the only one to succeed, unless you didn't do a good job.
You're not there.
Hashtag peanut gallery.
You know what? You're right. You want to cut the bullshit? We can do that. So I assume with your flashy eyes and other such things, you have some sort of detect magic thing or some such, being a wizardy warlocky type, whatever you are.
You're sexy as fuck, but you're an absolute dumbass if you think I'm going to tell you anything about what I'm capable of.
Alright then. Either way, and she just sort of snaps her fingers, and you realize that the illusionary spell effect that she had going on just disappears. And she is not a half-elf.
Oh, great. So she's not sexy. Is she's also a hag?
No, she is somewhat attractive-ish, but not a half-elf.
What the fuck is that?
She's a Yuan-Ti, pureblood, snaky person.
Oh.
Her hair is a lot less luscious in her troop one. But...
Ugh, slimy.
She's not slimy. Meh.
No, I know she's not, but I'm saying it to annoy her. There's not really much else I can do right now except stall and try and make her act stupidly.
Uh-huh. So you're not going to get anywhere. You know that, right? Just wait for your friends to snap out of it. If they get a chance to break away, they'll come save you. I feel as though,
We could have been making saving throws?
No, you can't.
Duration.
Oh.
But there's a duration on her enthrall. Which would normally be a fade to black, and by the way, now this is happening, but not all of you failed. So,
Okay.
the doors are all locked. You're not going to be getting anywhere anytime soon. Not unless you can pick locks, which perhaps you can. But I won't let you get near them.
Let me ask you a question then. What is the most impressive thing you've ever killed?
That depends. This realm or one of the others.
In general.
Did have a brief excursion in the Feywild once. Harsh place. There was a beast there. I can't remember what it was called. Huge. I killed it. With a little help, but I killed it.
Sounds about on par with me and mine then.
Heard about that. Trip into the Feywild yourself, huh?
I didn't say that. I said we've killed something on par with that.
Are you intending to try to kill me then? Save your friends?
Only if you force me to. Let me put it to you this way. I have no appreciation for killing or violence, but I am not afraid to resort to it if I'm left with no choice. We've faced impossible odds more times than I can count at this point, and we've always come out on top. And aside from you having scales and slimy hair, there is not a single realistic thing that sets you apart from any other hopeless scenario we've been in so far. So let me put it to you this way. Let us walk, or this is where your story ends. Period. Full stop.
Roll intimidate.
Okay. 13?
Be brave for a little runt.
I've had a lot of practice figuring out how to be.
You know what? Send my friends to kill your friends right now. Not even give them a chance. But I'm a good sport. I was giving my friends a chance to size up their prey while waiting for my magic to end. Gives your friends a chance.
Oh no.
Do you want me to not do that? And she is going to intimidate you. Intimidates is one of the things she is good at, as opposed to the bards. Better at.
Bards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Ooh. There you go.
Jesus!
I do believe it makes reasonable sense that Locke would be more worried about his friends.
Yeah.
So.
Start backpedaling.
If he backs up anymore, he's going to be going up the wall and across the ceiling.
No, backpedaling, yes. I'm like, well, on second thought, you don't really need to do that.
And, she sort of flicks, you see that she has a small dagger in her hands that she sort of pulls off of her, like a small, pouch that was next to her heel. I'm sorry. I'm a star here, honey. And things go my way. Always. So you're going to sit there. And we're going to see how your friends do. They have a sporting chance. You trust your friends, don't you?
Well, you're right about that. I trust them to give you what you deserve.
I'll have to
Don't
see.
say I didn't warn you.
Alright.
And with that, I will say nothing else for the duration. I'm just going to fall completely quiet and maintain that invisibility. I know she can see me, but it makes me feel better, alright?
Until she,
Fair
like, until the thing fades away.
Yeah. I can hold
which,
it for up to an hour's concentration, so that's what I'm doing.
As your invisibility fades, you slowly fade back into vision, and you're glaring at her.
well, she can see him just fine, so... Aha! How about that? See invisibility spell lasts as long as the invisibility spell does. Alright. So, as you're coming to with that, if you guys get into this sort of tense stalemate of sorts, then everyone else gets a chance to come to their senses, finally.
I'm legit shaking over here. This is tense as fuck for me.
Mm-hmm.
Does it just end, or do we have to roll?
Because I am not a fighter, I'm a charisma guy.
Her enthralling performance lasts. It is a one saving throw, and then it'll go away in an hour.
So it just fades away.
It just fades away. So everyone who was enthralled by her is essentially pinned to the wall and was, for lack of a better way to put it, mostly daydreaming about her, because that's a thing you can do. And then all of a sudden, you come to your senses finally, and starting with Cad, you realize, you immediately realize it was some sort of magical effect, because that is not normally the kind of thing that would happen with you. Be that physically attracted or mentally attracted to a person like that. Good grief.
I take my giant ears and shroud my face in shame.
Also, point of order, DM. Can I do one more thing real quick before the enthralling dance effect ends?
Okay. Yeah.
We know that my awakened mind can. I'm pretty sure. Hang on, let me double check if it has to be someone I can see.
I think it does.
Yeah, I have to see them. Never mind.
Yep.
I was gonna see if I could use it just ping around me and see if I could locate where my other friends were, but nope.
All right. So, Cad, you come to your senses, realize what is going on. You go to hide your face in shame with your ears, and you realize that your hands are bound to the wall. You're in absolute utter darkness. You cannot see anything. You feel decidedly lighter, though, as if you're not carrying everything you normally were. Because you're strong, but your weapons and things are decently heavy. So, yeah. You're in a very, very familiar predicament that you've been in before.
I, accept my fate and await rescue.
Helpful!
I've done it before, shut up.
I will give you, if you want to try to make use of your other senses other than sight, you can use a perception check to see if you can sense anything. Because you're in complete darkness, and I would imagine that you're trying to be more aware of your surroundings.
Sniff the darkness.
So, with an 11, there is your sort of acute sense of smell picks up on a somewhat strangely chemical smell of some sort. You don't quite know what it is. It's not exactly strong per se, but it's like it's like a faded perfume smell, sort of. It's a very strong smell, but the thing that is emitting whatever that smell is a decent ways away from you, so the smell itself is not strong. So yeah, it's a somewhat chemically kind of a smell. You don't pick up on much else. You do realize, though, that you're sort of chained to the wall, but your feet are on the ground, and the ground that you are standing on feels man-made. It feels as if something has constructed it in some persuasion. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Can I detect if it's stone or wood?
It is wood.
Never mind.
Yep.
Echolocation.
Alright. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I can possibly do if it was stone, but if it's wood, not really. I guess for sake of just having tried it, can I, try and tug at the chains on the wall and see if they're, really strong or not?
Yeah, sure. Roll me a strength check.
Oh no.
They're pretty taut.
Yeah.
They're pretty tight. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna wait to be rescued.
Okay. Alright. So, Silver. You eventually come to. And...
She's sitting there. She's sitting there, resting bitch face, slightly tapping on the chain. Manapon just bitch is not coming. And she took my shit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go on, continue.
You have dark vision.
I do.
So you pick up on what I had mentioned to Locke previously when he initially came into this room. There is that you are chained to a wall. And there is other people that have been chained to the wall, and it appears as though their bodies have not decomposed properly.
It smells
Actually, it smells strangely not of decay. It smells chemical. And then...
Well,
Mhm.
I guess she's continue saying, or can she do something?
You can do something.
Oh, what she can see.
You can make a perception check to get a better look around, or you can use strength to try to break the chains, or do both.
Here's my perception. A 4.
Nope.
So that and that. So she's just gonna be like, yeah, she's just gonna start like yanking on the chains as multiple times as she can. She's gonna just keep doing it.
I mean, this
over
is
again. Making noises.
you are indeed
chain, whatever.
You are indeed rattling chains.
Just sitting there quietly cursing to herself and just like trying to rip the chains out of the wall.
So you're sitting there rattling the chains. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll give you another strength roll. You're more determined to try to get away.
Oh, it moves slightly.
It did move slightly. The chains seem to be like on the cusp of somewhat older chains, but and you're like pulling at them and yanking at them, and they're giving slightly, but you're still not completely broken free just quite yet. You're close though.
I said, quick, take a 20.
I mean, that's not necessarily a thing that can happen in 5e, but maybe.
She's making noise. Can Locke hear her?
Can I?
Locke, make a perception check, sure.
13? That number seems to like me tonight.
No. Too far away. And you got some wood and other such things that's sort of breaking away. Also, Locke, since you have dark vision and you're sort of more aware of your facilities than the other people were at the beginning, you know how everybody ended up here. The floor of the ground that you're standing on is wooden and seems to be extremely man-made, but the ceiling above you is very earth and stone. So you're underground under the ruins itself. But yeah, so Silver, you're sitting here yanking at these chains. So you're yanking at the chains and you're pulling, and it's starting to give ever so slightly, and then you are pinned to the wall, so you do not have the reflex save or the acrobatics ability to try to get away. And you suddenly find yourself being constricted by a large snake.
Oh no.
Oh, this is bad because I just remembered a little bit of Silver's backstory. She was chained up before and tortured.
Oh no.
She does not like this.
Nope.
So, and now there's a snake.
There is indeed. There is indeed a
Why
snake.
did she
Hello,
not-
snake.
Oh,
Yeah.
how much damage do I take?
So, let us do...
And do I get one more strength check?
You would get another strength check. Although it's now partially to get out of the thing.
Well, no, I have to get my hands free in order to get out of the snake.
True. Yeah, you would get another strength check.
So damage first?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I need the damage first.
13.
Oh. I'm now down. Yay. Damn it.
Um,
I was hoping for her to get free. Maybe.
yeah, you're still pulling at the chains to try to get free. Because of the nature of this kind of an escape DC, as long as you pull halfway decently, it's going to very slowly start to wane on the chains. So, if you want another chance before we end the session, I can give you another roll to get away. If you get a 12, again, you actually are free. The DC had gotten lower with your two 12s. I'm going to give you a chance to get free. Just don't roll like a 6.
But that's also going to, allow the snake to cause me more damage, right?
Yes, I'm going to roll another damage for the snake.
Ooh, that's slightly better. Ooh, no. Yep. I'm at the half point. Slightly.
Fuck out of there!
Trying. I'm sitting here imagining her. It's like she had the air squeezed out of her, and if she could scream, she would.
Yep.
Angry cursing and shit.
Yep.
No.
Goddammit.
That's it. I'm done. Just have the snake bite me and kill me already. Could she let out a scream?
Yeah, of course.
Sure, she screams. Because she's like, I'm tied up, I'm dying, I don't want to be here.
Do I hear that?
What's your
She's screaming out for Helm. Like Helm saved her.
Nice. You know what? Helm was the one who rescued you before, right?
Yeah, when she was about to get executed, she sat there and gave a prayer saying like she would do whatever it takes to purge the temple of the evilness that has defiled it.
Okay. So with that, Locke, your passive perception is at least like what, 12 or 10 or something?
11. It's 11. My passive perception is 11 because my wisdom is +1. My
Yeah.
charisma and my dexterity are my good stats. Everything else is either middling or it's my strength.
Right, yes. So,
In which case, it's 6 minus 3.
Right, I know. So, yes.
I'm a baby man.
Yes, you hear Silver's voice screaming Helm. Silver. This is...
Booming voice.
This is before the snake gets another roll. You hear the booming voice of Helm, and he's...
Because she can't cast spells because she doesn't have her amulet or her component pouch.
Right, I know. You hear the voice of Helm, and just booming inside of your mind, and he is...
You will slay this creature. Get free.
Strength check to break out with advantage.
And while she's doing that, can I also pull a thing just after I hear her screaming out?
Mm-hmm.
I would say let Locke go.
I would like to use Mage Hand to knock as loudly as possible on the door on the other end of the room. So that the snake lady will have to turn around. Like what the fuck is that? Does it work?
Well, she's watching you.
She's watching me. But
Sonic or hand components?
What sort of components does Mage Hand have? Somatic?
Verbal and somatic shit.
Okay. Roll for me.
Stealth check.
We'll do. You can
Sleight
mumble.
of mouth.
It would be sleight of hand for the...
It either be do sleight of hand and do stealth, or deception rather.
6 and 11. Fuck.
Okay. Yeah.
God damn.
Just tap her on the shoulder. Be like, hey, what's up? Hey, I'm touching you. Hey.
Okay. So you do sleight of hand. You, in a panic, hearing that, you use Mage Hand to knock on the door down below.
Yeah, the one over here, so that's trying to make her turn around and not look at me for a minute.
She just sort of smirks as you cast the spell. Well, actually,
+7.
yeah, okay. She picks up on it, so she So you go to knock off to the side,
Yeah.
and the second that there is a knock of however you rhythmically knock or just knock softly hard on the door, whatever, however you knock,
Hard, like urgent knock. Like that.
Okay, good. In exactly the same tone and in the same rhythm. Dunk, 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 dunk on top of your head. I can do that too. And she waves at you.
Oh.
Oh, you are just the worst little cunt I've ever met.
Language.
I don't give a damn, Locke, and me are now pissed at this bitch.
Anyway, Silver, strength with advantage.
22. Fucking
Now you're free.
Now I have another question. How are the chains joined up? Was they attached to the wall through just a single ring, or were there like 2 rings for separate?
You had one that had you. It was two sets of chains, one for each arm, basically.
Okay.
And they were the double ringlets on both. So you just, with the 22, you just literally broken your way through, and you are free.
Because if they were somehow connected, I could be like, I'm going to choke you out, Snake. Fuck you. We'll win.
Alright, so we're about to end off the session then, right?
Yes.
Yep. Silver.
Silver is quotations free.
Okay. Then
Mostly
for the
free.
sake of dramatic effect, and because it makes sense for Locke's character, may I, like with Locke, find a snapping and losing his temper and self-control, drop his invisibility, and cast Blight?
Sure.
Alright. Like, he is doing his best to just kill this bitch as hard as he can as fast as possible.
Alright, Dalrit, I'm putting a note in my, on my character sheet stating that the snake goes before Silver when we come back.
Yeah.
Give me just a second, I'm trying to double check my spell save DC, because I want to see if it's been increased or not. Yeah, okay, it would still be a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Constitution, you said?
Constitution.
Well then, how about that?
Bards don't have that.
Bards don't
typically.
have. Bards don't have that. Although,
Nope.
being not a halfling, not a half elf, but rather a Yonti, she has a magic resistance, so she gets advantage. Hooray!
Well,
What does she have to make?
14.
So half damage.
21.
Alrighty. So, this one. Yeah. Also, Cad, you are probably going to roll strength checks to try to get break out of your chains, because you heard Silver yell helm as well.
And then immediately heard Locke giving off a shout of rage, because he's screaming in rage right now. Full throat. Like, vocal cord hurting levels of volume, man. Because he's pissed.
Yep. So you hear Silver yell.
He's pissed
Silver
and
yell.
he's scared, and he's literally in a corner. He is lashing out.
So what do you want me to roll?
Strength to break.
Rage.
Strength to break free and/or rage. One of the, however you would want to do it to try to get out of the chains.
I would say rage because you heard Locke yelling. And you protect Locke.
True.
That sounds fair to me.
There you go.
So,
So
like, break the chains and do, like, a power stomp to the middle of the room off the side of the wall.
And
And everyone should totally get a perception check to hear the earthquake south of them.
you are heavy. You are large. Locke has a perception check of. Yeah.
I have 11.
Silver, you're the only one that would really have to roll because, well, of the player party.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only one that really have to roll because you're the farthest away. But yeah, Locke, you definitely hear it because it's really close to where you are.
Yeah, I would say just to put a security man at ease a little bit, as I'm hopping off the wall, I'm also trumpeting.
Of course you are.
So
So,
Be like, oh, you're fucked, bitch.
Cad, roll for me perception.
Perception in a dark room. It smells like 10.
Okay, fine. So you don't see the little friends that you have right now?
That's fine. All I know is the direction of Locke's screams of terror, so I know the direction approximately
say-
that I'm traveling. Huh?
Oh, little friends. I heard friends, and I was like, wait, is that multiple?
It is.
Oh,
It's okay. I have a direction in mind.
So this is going to be fun to come back to later. Yeah. This should prove to be interesting.
Locke is alone with someone who's like 8 levels higher than him.
Mm-hmm.
And is going into his equivalent of a berserker rage.
Yep.
no, we
Alrighty.
need to know is what's going on with Young and Locke.
Or
Not
Young and
Locke,
Oak.
Young and Young.
Oak.
Yes,
Um,
Oak.
Locke is pissed. He is already out of spell slots, but I don't think he cares. I'm imagining the very next thing he's going to do is pull out his dagger and start shanking.
Silver's gonna die.
I hope not. I like Silver.
Okay, so her normal health is 83. Do you want to know what her health is now?
What?
It's sitting at 46.
Oof.
And her AC is actually 13 because of draconic resilience.
It
I
will
forgot that.
My stats
So-
wouldn't have really gone down, would they?
No.
I'm going to go to reach for my weapon and pull out a fist and start using it.
Silver's going to attempt to use the chains, but she doesn't have makeshift weaponry. Feet or something.
Yeah. Silver's most likely course of action would be to break away from the snake and run. Because you can see the doorways to get away from where you are. It's going to be interesting to come back to this, because this is going to be a very interesting combat scenario. And while the game session is not happening, I'm going to figure out what happens with Oak and Young, because that's easier for me to do.
Alright.
But yeah, it was great fun. I am glad that the encounter with said bard chick went the way that it has. I hope that no one dies. But hey, this is me learning how to make challenging and scary combats.
Yeah, I'd say you're succeeding.
Yeah, great. It's fantastic.
This is tense as hell. I was literally shaking when I was staring her down. And it's not an exaggeration to say that the same is true of Locke. He's on the verge of panicking right now, but he's calling on everything he's been through to be brave right now.
Yeah, Silver's panicking too.
Yep. We will do... Kenneth can do the... This has been Shadows. I will do the next time.
This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next time when we learn if the group can succeed in getting away from this insanity that they've got themselves trapped in.